You both know we will be sharing today's recording and slide decks out. So good morning all. Thank you for joining us. Let's dig right in. I'm going to share a screen here. And I'm going to share the PowerPoint. Hopefully everyone sees a PowerPoint. Alrighty, now make your faces a bit tinier and make the screen a bit bigger. Okay, so again, good morning. Thanks for joining us. Today, we're going to share some quick tips, some resources, some tools, all with the thought that the April certification deadline is just around the corner. We've got about 2 weeks to go. That deadline is April 4th. So we wanted to give you some tools that might help you along the way. And then again, the majority of our time today could be for questions and discussion, but if not, if we end a little bit early, that's okay too. So just to dig in, a couple of quick tips that we have for you. We wanted to point out this Getting Started with Sustainable CT document. You can see it's hyperlinked here, and this will take you to the document itself. This document really shows essentially the first step actions. So if you're struggling with a category, you're not really sure how to dig in, or you think, oh, wow, this is not really my bailiwick. We have identified the first step actions within each category that could be a good place to start. A lot of these actions are about training, about understanding a topic a little bit better, and that is a really great place to start as you're thinking about going deeper on a particular topic. So hopefully that document is helpful. Again, it's hyperlinked here, and we'll send out these slides after the recording. The next document I wanted to showcase was the timeframe for credit guidance document. So every single action, every single sub-action has this timeframe for credit document linked to it. And in that, we really explain what we loosely call like our look back period. So if you're completing an action, depending on when you completed it, you might still be able to include it in your application. And we use this new and rolling credit concept, and it's the same for all actions, that same new rolling credit. And I wanted to explain it very quickly because it's something we do get many questions on. So if you are applying for certification this year in 2023, the look back period for new action credit would be January 1, 2020. So if you've completed the activity between January 1, 2020 and either our April or August certification deadlines of this year, that action is considered new action. So you get that new action credit. So that's great. But if you've done it prior, so let's say you've done an open space inventory December 31st, 2019, it's possible now that that activity is eligible for rolling credit. So in every single sub-action, we indicate whether you can get credit for rolling credit. So if things are older than the 3-year look back window. I hope this is helpful. And in the timeframe for credit guidance document, we tell you if it is eligible for rolling credit, what you would need to submit to us to indicate that that action is still generating impact. So again, thinking about that open space inventory, that is eligible for rolling credit. So let's say you completed an open space inventory in 2019. Wonderful. You can look at it and say in 2023, I have no updates. This is still our open space inventory. We haven't added any parcels. We haven't removed any. You can make that statement, and that's fine for us. So we're trying to make it a little bit more streamlined for you as you're navigating the application process. The next document up here is the partner's guidance document. In this, we outline how municipalities can work with other organizations in your town, maybe your council of governments, another town itself, a state agency, a land trust, a community group, a school, whatever it might be, how you can work with these different entities to complete actions. And we know that you are, because it takes a lot of help to keep the town running, to keep it great. And we know that you're working with partners, and we respect that. So in this partner's guidance document, we outline some different examples that might be helpful as you're thinking about who's doing what in your community and how things are operating. An example, you might have a land trust that is doing an invasive species workshop. That's wonderful. Your town doesn't need to run an invasive species workshop if the land trust has got that covered. Maybe your town is offering up the town hall to host the venue or to host the event. And that's a great example of a partnership. So we've got a bunch of different resources for your team that I wanted to review as well. And you can see them here. We wanted to provide the hyperlink so you can go back and explore further. But I thought it would be helpful to look at the website itself. So I'm going to stop the share because I have to. And I'm going to go to the website very quickly. So hopefully this is pulled up for you all. Anybody not seeing the website? Okay, I don't see your faces. So hopefully it's all good. This is our home page, and I want to draw your attention to the support for your town tab. So there's a bunch of different things here that you might want to explore, but I'm just going to pull out a few. The first is the equity support here. And we do have one required action in our program for any level of certification, Action 1.1, Optimize for Equity. So it's something that we know towns are thinking about and often have questions about. So we do have on our team right now 6 equity coaches that can work with your town at one-on-one at no cost to you to talk through that equity requirement or other equity questions that you might have on, coming up in town. There are also many federal funding opportunities that are coming up that towns are eligible for that do have equity requirements and considerations. So if you'd like to speak with an equity coach about some of those federal funding opportunities, you can as well. So the equity coaches are really wonderful people. We're so glad to have them on the team, and we hope that you work with them. If you're interested, you can just email me, or you can email us at info@sustainablect.org and put in your requests at any time. So that's the equity coaching. Another support I want to mention would be our fellowship. So each summer, starting usually the first week of June, we hire grad and undergraduate students to work with your town directly to provide support with whatever you have going on over the summer months. It could be that they're helping you ready your application. They could be helping you upload materials. They could be helping you figure out where you have points already scored. You might have projects coming up that they could be helpful with based on their academic backgrounds, which is varied. So we've had fellows help towns with GIS projects. Fellows have helped towns by creating low impact design brochures. Really, they've always, time and time again, been amazing young people with many different sorts of skills. And we hope that you bring them into your teams and engage them and, benefit from their energy and their expertise in the program. So when they start, we'll teach them all about sustainable CT so that they're ready to go and hit the ground running when they're working with your town. Another tab on this pull down that I wanted to frame out is this other no-cost assistance. So this other no-cost assistance shows all of the varied supports available to your town, all for free to help you implement actions. And in most cases, these are partners of Sustainable CT who can provide free consulting or technical support on various actions. I encourage you to scroll through this list. We update it so you can come in and see what's available currently and take advantage of these opportunities. They're really amazing. These are experts who can really just come in and do some good work with your town. Many of these do right now relate to energy. So our category 7, which we have heard from towns is sometimes tougher. So we have supports for all, many different actions within category 7. And again, take a look, check this list. If anything seems like it could be helpful or you want to understand it better, just email us at info@sustainablect.org. And we'd be happy to help you move through whatever it be. All right, the next thing on this pull down that I wanted to show is the trainings and events. So here you can see our calendar of events. If it loads, there it is. So we work really hard to keep this calendar up to date. And these are events that we run. They are events that our partners run, but we try to put things that relate to the actions or to sustainability broadly. It is a treasure trove of opportunities to educate yourself on many different topics, to get more information. Here's one on the grant program. So really the sky's the limit here. And we hope it's helpful. And again, it's always being updated. You can see we go out into the future. You can also search the calendar. You can just look at it, but if you want to see past events, you can go down and kind of do some filtering to figure out what's happened. Maybe there are recordings available if you missed something, or others. So if you see cool events that you think others would be interested in, feel free to send them over. We can see if they're appropriate to add to the calendar. It's something that we are, again, updating always. And the last support that I wanted to show, whoops, here we go, is the external grants. So it might be something that you're aware of, might be something new. This is not our community match fund. That's something we do offer to towns. We can talk more about that if anyone has questions. But this grants portal features grants that are available to municipalities from external partners. So we find different grant opportunities all of the time. We're just seeing them. We try to do a first filter to make sure towns are eligible and that they relate to our actions. And then we pop them on this grants portal. So this is something that gets updated a lot. You can go in and see the different grants that are on the list right now. You can filter and sort by action. You can also, just scroll all the way to the bottom, hopefully I'm not making you seasick. You can also sign up for grant notifications. So once you click on this, you can select, I'm very interested in grants that have to do with action 4.2 and 6.1 or other. And as we post grants, you can get those sent directly to your inbox. You don't have to come back and check this page over and over again. So it could be a very helpful feature for you as you're thinking about possible funding opportunities that are available to your town. So I'm going to stop the share. I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint and I'm going to turn it over to Kate now to talk about some tools for your town. So Kate,
Thanks,
let's see
Jess.
if this goes for you. There we are.
All right, the first one is the action overview worksheet. So this is basically a really big spreadsheet that has every sustainable CT action and sub action listed out individually. It has all of the submission requirements for each one. It has the points for each one, the time frame for credit category, basically all the info you need in a quick snapshot all in one place. You can use that to keep track of your application as you're working on it. We actually made a little short how-to video that shows some quick options for how to use and customize the worksheet. For example, if you wanted to add a new column to put down who's the contact person in your town for a specific action. So definitely recommend checking that out. You can get that from the spreadsheet, or excuse me, from the PowerPoint when we send that out afterwards. It's also linked on the actions page on our website at the top. Next is a new tool, the Gold Certification Tracking Tool. So Gold launched this year, 2023, and has some more complex requirements than the other certification levels. So to help you out with that, we have this spreadsheet, and you can find that on, if you go to support for your town and then sustainability team guidance and scroll down a bit, there's a big list of links under resources for your team. And that has all the gold certification requirements in one place. So every action in category 1, completing the climate leaders designation, action 8.6, collaborating with other municipalities, and then of course one action in each category, just like with bronze and silver. So each of those has their own tab and you can keep track of everything there. And then last, the action change summary is basically just what it sounds like, what changed from last year, this year, in every single thing that changed, whether it's a points update, whether it's clarifying the submission requirements, or whether it's a more substantial change with new requirements and new pieces to the action. So you can actually see that again on our website. If you go to the actions menu, updates and past actions, and then there's action change summaries, and that has from every year of our program, the changes from year to year.
Thanks, Kate. So this is the last slide from us. We just wanted to give some quick certification reminders. The first is, again, we have a deadline coming up. So our spring certification deadline is April 4th. We do have a fall certification deadline of August 15th. So if you want to get certified in 2023, those are your dates to keep in mind. And August 15th would be the latest to get all of your submission materials into us. I want to point out, though, You can submit for full or partial review of your application at any point. So if you have 5 actions done on April 4th and you just want to submit them and let us review and get you some feedback, we're happy to do it. You've got 1 action 5, 25. It's all good. We love to review, help you get a sense of where you're at and how things are going. You can do that in August as well. It's totally fine. If you are submitting for a partial review, or you have an application that just doesn't quite meet the requirements for at least bronze certification, you just email us. Email us at info@sustainableCT.org by 12 p.m. on either of those deadline days, and we can submit that application for you manually. It's very easy for us to do, and we're happy to do it. And if you have any issues at all, so something's not working on the deadline, it's 11:58, don't pull your hair out. It's okay, just email us. We know that sometimes technical glitches happen. They usually happen at the most inconvenient time possible. So just, again, email us and we'll take care of it for you. The last thing on here that I wanted to point out is June 1st, we're having a party. It's our spring into summer celebration. It will be at the Glastonbury Boathouse in Glastonbury, and it will be fun, we hope. So we'll have food, drink. You can come meet our new fellows, our equity coaches, us as a team, talk to other towns about what you're working on, and figure out ways you might want to collaborate or connect. It should be a nice day just to kind of hang out and think about how we're going to move forward over the summer months. We'll also recognize our spring certified communities on that day. So lots to celebrate and really just an opportunity to come together and connect. So that's it for us. Now it's time for your questions. I'm going to stop the share. If anyone has any questions, we'd be happy to take them.
Susan, do you have any? Because I've got quite a few, and I don't want to inundate you with all my nonsense. So if you have any,
no. Go ahead, David. It's all yours.
Oh boy. All right. First off, thank you all for humoring me again. And I want to thank you for putting me in touch with Annika. She's been helpful. Looking at my submission so far and keeping me honest. I get emails from her, and I know I got to kick it in the butt. So thank you for that. One question I had, community match funding. So we have an energy commission here, and when I do projects and I do infrastructure upgrades, I chase incentives from Eversource. Those incentives and rebates don't get put back into the general fund. In most cases, they get put to our energy efficiency, which the commission handles. Now, we've done 2, I guess we call them grants to a local ice cream place so they can do Minor Farms, I think it is. So they can do an assessment for solar, and for another that's for a horse farm, Shepherd's Meadows, that works with folks with disabilities. So we've given them, or I should say the commission has given them 2 small grants to kind of pursue projects for energy efficiency. I know with the community grant funding, it's kind of like you can't fund it through city money, but there's the way that I kind of put out that framework. If the Energy Commission has put enough energy efficiency funds, could those be matched in the community match fund, or is it kind of like, since it's a city-related committee, it's kind of verboten? Oh, who's falling on that grenade?
Do you want me to take it, Jess? Yeah, great question. So basically, I think we can figure it out how to support that. The town money or ICT incentives can't be counted towards the crowdfunding, but we can kind of build a project on top of that base budget that is crowdfunding supported, matched by us. And as long as the projects have, a public accessibility or a public benefit. So I'd be happy to talk about the specifics. You can reach out to Joseph, I'll put the email you can reach me at funding at. I'll post it in the chat. But yeah, let's talk about that. We're eager, and we have a community match fund specifically designated for climate and energy projects. So I think we'd love to talk and see what can work there.
Okay. Yeah, and I know the gentleman at Minor Farms Ice Cream is also interested in supporting a EV charging station or stations that that he would make available to the public, you know, for use while they're at his site. So,
absolutely.
I've been plugging the equity training hard and heavy on my end, and I'm sure you've seen all the Bristol attendees of late. So one I have is the one portion it had mentioned Board of Ed. So I have a principal who attended diversity, equity, inclusion training through, oh boy, I forget their name, but it wasn't through Sustainable CT, but I kind of outlined what they've done. I think that would meet the requirement, but I also have another member of the community here. He's a father of a child at a school, and he's on what's called the Green Hills Watchdogs, and it's like Dads for Blossom Kids or something like that. I forget the acronym, but he's going to be attending. It's like a parent-teacher association organization, but could you just clarify, would that kind of also check the box for Board of Ed, or is it more meant for Board of Ed employees, board members, and the like?
That's a great question, David. And we don't technically have a Board of Ed requirement. So there's two ways to get credit for Action 1.2. There's 1.2.1, which is having a group of 3 identified individuals attend our training. So that 3-part series, and they can attend different series. So maybe one is in the winter, one attends the fall, one attends the summer. They all attend the same. It's all good for us. But those 3 would be an elected official, an upper level staff person from the town, and then a volunteer resident on your sustainability team. So those same 3, the same person is attending the full series offered by us. So that's 1.2.1. 1.2.2 is the town hosts their own training, and that would have to be a live training. So it could be in person, or it could be like we have right now, a live Zoom where we're interacting. It's not a recording. And that would either be for town staff and or Board of Ed employees. So that might be where the Board of Ed came in.
Okay, so it sounds like, so 1.2.2 is we host in-house, not a bunch of employees from different departments attending like the Sustainable CT supported workshops. Right.
Yep. So you can either come to ours, have a set grouping of people attend ours, or you can host your own and open it up to town staff or Board of Ed staff.
Okay. All right. And I think I understand that better now. Okay.
And if you want to send me your the write-ups that you've done, I'm happy to take a look just to see if it feels right.
Well, I'm sure you can access my application, and I think I've marked it as completed already. So if you want to,
I'll go in and check that one.
Just to look at it there.
Yep, I'll take a look.
Okay, and you can tell me if I'm off my rocker. Gotta go through my notes here. Okay, so assess climate vulnerability. I'm working with Adam Welchel now on that to get a date set up, and I believe my friends in East Adam are also already gone down that path, and I've kind of just made the introduction and kind of stepped back because I guess I fill a role that would be pertinent to that workshop in Bristol, but maybe not so much in East Adam. But if there's any issues on the East Adam end, just let me know, and I'd be happy to insert myself back in, but, in regard to that, so we did it once before, and we're gonna do it again this time. I've made a lot of good connections in the, like, Disabilities Council, the Diversity Committee. We have a Bristol Cares monthly meeting with nonprofits and shelters and the like. So we're gonna be getting them to the table as well. So, I intend to apply an equity toolkit to that as well. But I know, so like you said, about partial, application. So I'll do what I can up until the April 4th deadline to kind of document that. But at that time, it won't be complete. So, I just wanted to make you aware of that. I think I should be pretty good on that though. So I don't know why I brought that one up very much. So I made a note of it, but, you had mentioned about Action 7 and the struggles there. I'm the knucklehead in charge of our benchmarking on the Bristol side. So I've worked with, Dr. Thomas before. The one thing and I know there's a process for it, it's to prove that you have increased use of renewable energy. So I see there's like a very specific way you have to set up kind of like a generic account or a facility account in there to kind of reflect that. And I'll work with Dr. Thomas. Do I need to send a request to you folks first before reaching out to Dr. Thomas, or how would you like me to handle that?
No, if you've got her contact, you can reach out to her, or I'm happy to send an email intro just to get the ball restarted again, whatever works best for you.
Okay, I just didn't want to screw up like the correct process and get my
Oh, no.
in line with her.
That sounds good.
Okay, yeah, because we have like 8 beneficial accounts we're getting solar power from 4 different array systems in the state of Connecticut. So I get like the monthly virtual net metering credit allocation information from Eversource. But yeah, I know I've struggled in the past with kind of updating that and being able to accurately show what we are offsetting with renewable. So yeah, I just want to make sure that I was keeping everybody happy in the process of asking for that assistance.
Yeah, so you'll cover that one, or would you like us to send the intro to?
No, I introduced myself to Dr. Thompson in the fall at the event there.
Okay.
He and her speaker that helped me, so I don't want to inconvenience you folks more than I do already. For the implement a community energy campaign, so we did Solar for All in the past. There's an offering now through Energize CT, and I know the application is due today, and I won't make that, but in talking with the Energy Commission, they wanted to do some more outreach like this, and one of the things they had offered at Energize CT was a home energy solutions campaign. Would that qualify under an energy campaign?
I believe so, yeah. As long as you're doing, I think, at least 5 events. I think that's what we say in the Action 7.7.
Oh, okay.
And that's really about doing like home energy audits, and they kind of put caulk where caulk is needed and replace light bulbs. Yeah, that's great.
Yep. Next one in the line there, complete energy audits of municipal buildings. So right now, all the solar and EV charging like consultants are circling me. And I'm working with currently to do LED and EV charging audits, and then what we can do to kind of jump on those incentives while they're still there. And I think that is a very loose interpretation of an energy audit of a municipal building. Do you agree, or what would you? I mean, what is the benchmark that you're looking for a energy audit? Are you looking for a formal report from like a commissioning agent or?
We are, and I turned off all of my websites. Kate, do you happen to have that action pulled up, 7.8? We do have a standard type of, it's like a level 2 audit, and you can get this done if you want with support from the utilities. So if you reach out to Amy Thompson with that request as well, she can help get that set up and you can have it done at no cost.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Kate, do you have that action?
Yes. So the two parts are to have done 7.1, so benchmarking your energy use, which you already talked about working on. And then I'm gonna copy the exact text into the chat because it's a little technical and I don't want to summarize and miss the nuances. So this American Society of Heating, Refrigerating, and Air Conditioning Engineers, they have an audit program. And so you have to do a level 2 or 3 energy audit that they've laid out. And then we have in that action, there's a link to resources from them.
yeah. So David, you're familiar probably with ASHRAE, and the level 2 and level 3 it's more than just a walkthrough. It's kind of a deeper dive.
Okay.
And
All right.
Energize can do that. Those, they have vendors on contract to do that.
So I will, when I reach out to Dr. Thompson, we'll talk about that as well. What's where is it? The historic assets one. Where's that? Which one is it? Oh, 5.5, inventory and assess historic resources. So one of the requirements was completed worksheet, long-term maintenance plan that uses the Secretary of Interior standard for treatment of historic places. That document is huge. It's like a couple hundred pages. So in the past, like I've provided information on our library and another building, now home to Bristol Parks Rec Youth and Community Services, the Victorian building in the historic district. They're both very close to each other, 100 yards from each other. So I provided narratives where I detailed like the work in my normal job here. Upgrades to roofs, windows, putting in like natural gas condensing boilers, and like at 51 High now, I'm doing the Victorian building. I'm doing a exterior wood repair and complete painting project over the spring. So I don't know if providing that kind of narrative is going to meet that, or I'm just trying to get clarification on when you say use the Secretary of Interior standards. How detailed are you looking?
So for this one, you can use the worksheet or a long-term maintenance plan with the Secretary of the Interior standards. So the worksheet for each asset that you want to just write about, there's space to give like a little historic description of the historic relevance, a little description of the physical space, the work you're doing, any plans for the future. So it can be, it can be a short few sentences for each of those things for each asset that you want to write about. And that's enough detail.
Oh, my goodness.
So
Okay.
I'll jump in, David. If a building is on the National Register, any renovation has to be done to the national standard, and you're eligible for funding if it's on the National Register. So through the State Office of Historic Preservation or the federal office. If you receive one of those grants, you'll have a plan based on that federal program, so that would be easy. But if it's not a renovation that's being done with that money, it's not necessary to provide that report of a standard because they're very detailed.
Okay. All right, I'll be truthful. I did get $75,000 from the State Historic Preservation Office for 51 High's work.
Then
So-
whatever you submitted to them to receive that grant for the work that
Yeah.
you plan to do with it is sufficient for us to give you credit for it because they have already reviewed the project in order to give you that grant.
Okay. You guys want to match my
Awesome.
that funding at the state? I'm just kidding. I've got the city money covering the other half. I think that is all my mental regurgitation I have for today. I have been living the sustainable CT lifestyle for about the last couple of months and the last 2 weeks. I mean, I was so confused yesterday walking out of here with so many different actions I'm working on and information coming at me. So it's alive and well in Bristol, I'll tell you that.
All right. Well, we're here for you, David, whatever you need. And Susan too.
Thank you,
Any
Kate.
other questions? All right, I think we'll wrap a little bit early. I want to thank everyone for joining us and hope that everyone has a wonderful weekend.
Thank you all. Have a good one.
Nope.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Take care.